you studying?
I'm behind now.
At home with his partner, Nelson is preparing for the bar exam and making plans for their future. Both big and small things that once seemed impossible.
Being yourself and in my country was never an option for me.
Even from a young age, Nelson says he was treated differently back home in Venezuela, a reality that grew more dangerous once he embraced his identity as a gay man.
The person who I was in conflict with the current situation in the country.
After years of enduring discrimination, Nelson said he had a violent encounter with authorities, and that's when he decided he needed to flee for his safety. He used a tourist visa to fly to the U.S., where he applied for asylum.
I felt that I was leaving so much behind and people that I loved, but at the same time, I knew and I understood that that was the only option I had.
The U.S. doesn't formally track how many asylum seekers identify as LGBTQ, but research organization the Williams Institute estimates at least 11,400 asylum applications were filed by queer people between 2012 and 2017. The Institute estimates 98% of those claims based on LGBT status were determined to have credible or reasonable fear of persecution or torture in the applicant's home country.
For queer people, asylum is an absolute necessity as a safety net.
Aaron Morris with the legal services firm Immigration Equality said the United States has for decades recognized the threat against queer people as a reason to be granted asylum.
There are places in the world where we are hunted, where we are criminalized, where we are sentenced to death for being who we are.
Since President Trump took office and has enforced an unprecedented crackdown on immigration, Morris said he's concerned about LGBTQ+ migrants who arrive at the border being denied entry, preventing their ability to request asylum inside the U.S.
In past federal governments, they would allow you to live in the United States until your case was decided. There's no guarantee here with the Trump administration that that will continue.
Like Morris, a D.C. immigration attorney Sarah Pitney said the rate of how often they're winning queer asylum cases hasn't changed, but how safe their clients feel while pursuing their asylum has. Pitney said the presence of ICE officers at immigration hearings has sent a chilling effect that's especially difficult for queer people who experts say face greater risk of abuse in detention.
So I've now got to spend a lot of my time actually talking people in to fighting their cases.
That fear has also impacted the ability of LGBTQ migrants to access the social services they need. Naomi Renard is director of programs with Asylum Works, which helps newcomers adjust to life in the U.S.
We had one queer client who said that he felt the same type of anxiety he felt back in his village when he came out. And I think this is a real fear that we didn't used to see.
Pitney said the president's executive order on gender markers has also made it more difficult for trans clients who may have previously won their asylum cases, but now may be issued green cards with their sex assigned at birth.
I have one client who has a full beard, and I am scared to death that his next refugee travel document is going to say female on it. And then if he travels internationally and he comes back, what if they accuse him of document fraud?
What would you tell them when they ask, am I still welcome here?
This is a difficult question for me to answer because I don't believe that queer people were ever welcome here. I think that queer people carved out space for ourselves as a community. We still face violence in the United States, but there are places where queer communities are taking care of each other. And that's something we are always going to do.
I just came here to build my life and to have a better future.
Nelson said finding his community is what helped him survive the 7-year wait before he was granted asylum. He went on to law school and is now working with an immigration firm to help others like him.
The fact that I'm also helping others that were in my position is also super rewarding because I'm actually giving back to what I received at some point.
That was Maria Rene Varillas with our partner station Telemundo 44. Join us Saturday as we wrap up our Pride Month with a half-hour special looking at new challenges facing the LGBTQ+ community and hearing from trailblazers about creating a better tomorrow. World Pride Day News 4 special airs June 28th, 7:30, right here on NBC4. And with